What you need to know about IPOs is, first of all, they're an amazing opportunity to get in on a ground floor of a strong company. And when I say strong company, what I mean is it has to be a strong company or it can't go IPO. It's a rigorous process to get through the SEC. But I want to give you a few examples. First of all, Apple went IPO back in 1980. And in 1980, it instantly made 300 millionaires. 300 millionaires. Now, you're not going to get that with our stock offering unless you invest $1 million or $500,000, and then you'll make $1 million, right? Because it's half price stock. But $1 million, it's had a high price of $667. It's at a low end of $82. But no matter what, you see that original $29 that you would, if at IPO, would have made a fortune regardless. So Apple makes a ton of millionaires on its IPO. Twitter, back in 2006, Twitter, you know, it started out with Evan Williams. I'll tell you a quick story. It started out with Evan Williams in 2006, and it was a company called Odeo, and they had a platform about podcasting. Now, when Apple, what a caveat, when Apple announced to everybody that it had a platform going on iTunes that had the podcasting platform incorporated into it, so it was going on all of its devices, well, they were out of business. So they got together, there are 14 of them there at Odeo, and they started brainstorming. And Jack Dorsey came up with an idea to be in the status, update status, be in the moment, status. Twitter was born. So the Twitter group, they started working on this, you know, this business plan, and they started putting it into action, and they had less than 5,000 users their first 2 months, and I think their investors got a little, well, maybe unhappy or restless. And so they had to buy them out. So they spent $5 million to buy out their investors. Evan Williams raised it, the CEO at the time of Odeo, which became Twitter. And then the Twitter team cashed them out. When it went IPO, it made 1,600 millionaires. Those 1,600 millionaires, unbelievable, from the Twitter idea, which is great. More power to them. But that's amazing. And it went from being $5 million to a $5 billion company. That's a 1,000-fold increase in 5 years. In 5 years. So IPOs, I mean, amazing opportunities, right? So if you have a chance to get in on one, which you do with us, take it. But you do need to know a few things. Everything you need to know about IPO, we're going to share with you in the next 2 other emails. One about the company and one about the industry in which we work. And you need to understand it. It needs to make sense to you. And it needs to be a business and an industry that's not going to be absolved tomorrow. It's going to be necessary tomorrow. It's going to be needed by the marketplace in 5, 10, 20 years from now. Real estate's always going to be in good business. Always going to be an industry in need. But you know, just to give you a few examples, the SEC, you know, it's hard, first of all, for a business to get IPO, because out of 300,000+ businesses that were started last year, 236 of them went IPO. The underwriting process is rigorous. It takes a lot of money to get there. It takes a stable company. Underwriting process is rigorous. And then, of course, to find an IPO, if you're an investor and not a big institutional investor or an extremely wealthy person that's well connected, you have to rely on, you're going to get in at the 6th or 7th tier is what they usually call it. And it's very, very difficult to get in on the beginning stages. This is a pre-IPO. You have an amazing opportunity to buy stock at 50 cents on the dollar, and I'm going to get to that. So I know what you're thinking. I'm going to get to that. Just hold steady. But IPO basics, you know, the underwriting process, the rigorous way to get through, so not a lot of businesses make it, but if they do make it, they have unbelievable growth in many, many cases, as I've shown you the examples with Apple and Twitter. You know, it's very difficult to get a piece, if not impossible, according to Investopedia. But I'm telling you, you have one now. So please review the company, Aspen Development. Please review the business that we're in, which is the real estate industry. And if you feel comfortable with the business and with the company, and you have an opportunity for IPO, well, let's go. That's all you need to know.